Hey everybody, this is Brian with Backstage 360. We're at NAMM 2018. You probably can't hear it because we're using a 57, but it's loud in here. Over 100,000 registrants for the week, and we happen to find the one that we want to talk to, Anthony Cullins. Anthony, hey man, what's up?
How you doing, Brian?
Not too bad, buddy. You know, we've interviewed you like 100 times, and this is your first time you got stuck with me.
Oh yeah, I know.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. So we're at the BC Audio booth. What are we doing?
All right, so BC Audio, you know, they're the brand I've been using of amps for a while. They make great heads, you know, just great gear. You know, I wouldn't play them if I didn't like them. You know, just great quality, good stuff.
Is there something specifically in their amplifiers that you enjoy?
They're point-to-point wired, hand wired. They just got that authentic, old school vintage sound. You know, it's real. You know, it's in your face. You know.
Well, one of the things I can see from all this stuff here is it's tube amps,
yeah,
right?
Of course, yeah. Oh yeah.
And I got a Fender Bandmaster, and I keep it because of the tubes, right?
Yeah, you showed me one time at your house, man.
Yeah, now you can just show me how to play. So the band is getting ready to take off to Laughlin?
Yeah, so we're doing a thing with Kenneth Rexroad for the Six String Society. It's the 27 Club, so I'll be doing the Hendrix parts, and I'll be backing up Casey Hensley on guitar. She's doing the Janis Joplin parts, and it's 5 nights at the Riverside Casino in Laughlin.
Wow! So the lineup for that show will be?
It's me, Casey Hensley, and her band and I'll be playing guitar, and Whitney Shea. I don't know who's in her band, and Robin Henkel. So it'll be a lot of fun, man. Yeah.
I haven't seen Rob in a long time. That'll be a fun show.
The last time I seen him is when we did the show in Lone Pine, the same show. So it's been a while.
Right. Well, I appreciate you taking some time with us.
Yeah.
We're going to try and bring in Bruce. Hey, Bruce.
Hey.
How you doing, buddy?
Great, doing great.
So, this is a really nice place. We've got some tube amplifiers. Tell us why this guy likes to play them.
Well, I really haven't figured that out yet, but no, I just built the tube amps the best I can. All tube, non-clone guitar amps. I use octal preamp tubes, which is kind of unusual. To my ear, they sound more like power tubes when they break up. They give it a little bit bigger, thicker, warmer sound. And I do true point-to-point wiring, which gives it a little bit more clarity. And I've been building amps since 2009 as BC Audio in San Francisco, in my workshop in San Francisco. And just having a good time meeting people like Anthony, and he's a great player, amazing young guy. I'm very thrilled to have him on my artist roster.
I'm pissed off at him because I've been playing my whole life and I can't even catch him for anything.
Me too, brother, me too.
So I've always been a huge fan of the tube amplifiers.
Yeah.
I have a Bandmaster myself. I guess I'm going to have to check these out a little more careful.
Cool.
But I've always liked the warmth of the tubes. Is there anything distinctive in your setup that gives you that?
Yeah, the octal preamp tubes. Most guitar amps these days have a 12AX7 preamp tubes. I use a 6SL7, which is an octal preamp tube, which means it has 8 pins, like the larger power tubes. It has a really warm sound. Those are the tubes that were used back in the 50s and early 60s before the smaller tubes were popular. So it's kind of going even further back in history to get great tone for today.
Now, by the time people see this, it's already going to be February.
Right.
NAMM will be closed, but if somebody wants to buy some equipment, which I know they will, then how would they do that?
You can find me at bcaudio.com. You can email me, Bruce at bcaudio.com. And my phone number's on there as well. Give me a call. I love to work with artists like Anthony directly, do custom work, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Now, you're up in San Francisco?
I'm in San Francisco, right.
That guy over there is from San Francisco, too, so I'll have him go and check out and see what you got on sale up there.
Okay, yeah, right on. Sounds good.
Well, thank you very much for taking some time with us. You guys get a chance, go check him out online and go buy some equipment. We're going to catch you in just a little bit. Don't go away. Hey, we're back. We're with Ukulele Ray. Hey, Ray, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, how's it going? You come from south of the border, or you just look like that?
I was afraid you were going to do that to me. What the hell?
Sorry, I never inhaled, but you know how that goes.
We've been friends for a while, and this is the first.
Have we really?
All right. Well, I was wishing to be a friend.
You're a good guy, Brian. I tell you. I mean, if they tell me about you downtown and you need someone to bail you out, I'll send somebody else. You know. No, I love you, man.
I lost control of this interview, didn't I? That's cool. Ray, what the hell's got in your hand?
Oh, Sergeant Pepper. Don't get it confused for Dr. Pepper because there's not a stethoscope available inside my lunchbox. Yes.
Your instruments are so creative and unique. They're, well, tell them what they are.
These are called Box-A-Leles. I make turn lunchboxes into ukuleles. You know, where kids could still pack a lunch. You know, but take it out before you go to bed at night, and it might be moldy in the morning, you know. Mom won't like that. But no, and they come in all kinds of different varieties, you know. I mean, you could have like all sorts of cool stuff. Hey, Tommy, what's up?
How's it going,
Tommy?
Sometimes these things just happen.
This is Tommy Victor, dear old ukulele buddy of mine, who just decided to video bomb.
I told you I lost control of this interview.
No, but he's a good guy.
That's the fun. Ride the waves, man. Ride the waves, brother.
You've been smoking, man. I'm telling you. No, this is a good guy right here.
That good Cali medicine.
Hey, watch your language in here. We have kids available.
Did I say? We have kids available.
Well, I don't know. What are you into today?
We recently.
Mad?
Mad. We recently did a show together, and you had just given away a ukulele for.
Oh, for the veterans. Yes. Yeah. For the San Diego Christian Servicemen.
And then prior to that, I saw you at an event in Oceanside, the Moose Lodge, was it?
Yeah, the Moose Lodge. But I wasn't wearing my horns that night.
But you also had a ukulele with you that day.
Yeah. I made ukuleles for Tom Petty and my dear friend Ron Blair, you know, bass player for the Heartbreakers. And sadly, I made the Tom Petty. Tom Petty passed away before I could even give it to him, so I gave it to Ron. You know, so he's got a pair of cool ukes, but I wish Tom would have had that.
Yeah. Now you've got a studio out of your backyard, I take.
Do I have a backyard?
Well, no, it's actually a studio.
Well, now that I have a studio in the backyard, I'm sure I do.
Your fans probably want to know, you used to have a Las Vegas act. What's going on in Vegas? Are you going to be back? Are you putting it back together?
Well, as long as Las Vegas is there, I'll always come back.
They're moving it actually to New Jersey.
Well, as soon as they do, I'll send them a postcard. I can't help it. I just came that way.
What else is going on with the band? Where can people see you?
Well, they can see me at home, definitely relaxing on a nice, comfortable couch in the evening. Or they can see me online on Facebook, and I have almost 700 videos on YouTube, you know, and it's you, dude. And I'm just a character, you know. I've got albums on Amazon and iTunes, and you can find my lunchbox ukuleles floating around in art galleries and museums with all the mummies and dead people laying around too. You know, it's my bad. I tell you, I'm bad.
Look this man up. Go online, watch his videos, and catch him if he starts playing out in Vegas or near you. We're gonna catch it back up with you real soon. Don't go anywhere. We're back, 100,000 people expected for the weekend. We're with Stevie Salas. Stevie, thanks for being here, man.
Hey, I have no choice. I have to be here. I get paid to be here.
Well, we're going to zoom in later, but right behind us seems to be a signature guitar. What's the deal with the signature guitar?
You know, for the last, I did my first signature guitar deal in the late 80s. 1990, I had my own model Yamaha. 96, I had my own model Washburn. I had my own model Caparison in 2000. And then I kind of got sick of designing guitars. And then just recently, about 3 years ago, I went to Germany and I was at a party there and I met Hans-Peter Ruhns, Warwick, and Framus. And And we just started talking, and he said his father created the Framus brand, and he wanted to bring it back because of his father had passed away. And it really touched my heart because my father and I, from Oceanside, California, where I grew up, we were really tight. So I said, you know what, I want to come and design a guitar. So I designed this guitar, the Idol Maker, and it exploded, and they're all over the planet now. And so now what we do is we design all these different versions of it, and I come to these kind of shows every once in a while, stand around like this and talk to guys like you.
Now, you're originally a Southern California, but do you remember your very first guitar?
Yeah, my first real guitar I got, I wrote about it in my book, actually. I lived down in the valley in Oceanside, and my brother-in-law used to build boats, and we would race motocross, and he'd work on my motocross bikes, and he'd build boats in he built my surfboards, like he'd make them from scratch. You know, back then you weren't like rich parents, we couldn't buy that stuff like we do now. It's like, so he made my surfboards, and he made me a Stratocaster copy, and that was my guitar, and I ended up selling it, and then getting a guitar called The Paul from Guitar Center in San Diego from the great Jack Butler, who worked there, who was in the Brats. He was the sales guy. I was in 15, and after that, then I bought Luke Albano from Neptune, who was my favorite band in San Diego. I bought his Ibanez Les Paul copy thing, which I wish I still had. And then I started working at Musicians Exchange in Carlsbad, and Joe Orndorff, the owner, loved me like a son, so he ordered me a Dean guitar from Chicago for me and Pat Pinamani, and we were in the band This Kids. And recently, I sold that guitar to a Marine in like 1982 or something like that, and it just showed up on Facebook. A guy writes me and he says, "Hey, is this your guitar?" And I looked at it and I go, "Wow, I had one of those like in 1983 or 81 or whatever it was." And he goes, I go, "Why do you think it's mine?" He goes, "Because look at the case." And he sends a picture of the case, and it said, "This Kid's" on the case. And the guy was in Wisconsin. And I'm like, how did a guy in Wisconsin end up with my guitar that I sold in Oceanside, California, like 100 years earlier? And how did he even associate me with This Kids? He didn't associate me with Mick Jagger or Rod Stewart or Justin Timberlake or any of that stuff I do. It was This Kids. And he goes, "Yeah, some guy came over and saw that." And he goes, "Hey, Stevie Salas used to have a band called This Kids." I'm like, that's what blew me away. So I'm trying to get that old Dean guitar back now as we speak, actually.
Hearing stories like that reminds me, I sold a 62 Strat to pay the rent one year, umpteen million years ago, $100.
Yeah.
You think it's worth $100 today?
Well, you wouldn't pay the rent with that now. You'd buy the house with that now. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. And now we have your own model guitars.
Yeah, I like doing it. It's a good hobby. When you get to go to these custom shops. You can pick whatever wood you want, whatever pickups you want. And I'm a lucky guy. I get free guitars from everybody, and I get free pickups, and I get the carte blanche of bridges and all the stuff I want to try. And so I have a good time. It's like experimenting, and then like Nicky Six just bought one of my guitars, and he sends me videos of him playing it, and that kind of stuff just turns me on. It makes me so excited to see people enjoying it and having fun, and something that I created, and that's kind of fun. That's the way I have a good time nowadays.
What a lot of your fans may not know is you're also very involved with charity events. I recently got you in San Diego at a charity event. You're very involved with that kind of stuff. You kind of have a home club still here.
Well, I would like to start coming home to Carlsbad and Oceanside more, not just when one of my friends is sick or dying. It's like we're all getting old, and it's a bit depressing, but I call Ron Blair from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and I call Bernard Fowler from the Stones, and I call whatever my rock star friends that can come down, and we get together in Oceanside with all the old gang, and it's a supportive group. And it's ironic because my friends that I went to school with and that I graduated high school with in Oceanside are still my dearest friends. So it's not like I went away and, hey, I can't, I don't even go to my class reunions because I see all my friends from high school that I still want to see. The rest of them, I didn't know it. So,
Yeah. Well, what's on the horizon in 2018 for you?
Well, my movie's up for a Canadian Screen Award, which is like the Canadian Academy Awards, my film Rumble. I'm speaking at South by Southwest this year because I'm doing a book signing there for my book, and then I'm also I'm speaking because my film Rumble has just been turned into a school curriculum, history curriculum, which is pretty mind-blowing for me. And I had a gold album last year in Japan called Chubby Groove so I did a bunch of big stadiums and big shows. I'm going to go write a new album. And I don't know if I'll put it out this year or next year, and I'll go back and maybe hopefully keep playing those big shows before I get too old.
So you haven't really retired at all then, have you?
What's funny is I retired in 2000 because I'd been in the music business from 85. I left San Diego to LA, and I did pretty good. I had a pretty good run, sold a few million albums, and I was just sick of it. And I'd had some seven-figure years, so I had money in the bank. Everything was great, and I said, I don't need this anymore. I started buying land in Costa Rica, and then I lost $1 million in the stock market. And then I was like, okay, now I have to go back to work. And luckily for me, Mick Jagger called, and it got me off the couch and re-inspired me. Jagger was so energetic and so amazing. It really re-inspired me. And then I did Justin Timberlake. Then I went to work at American Idol, and next thing I know, then I became a dad.
His energy is almost infectious. I mean, at his age, it's incredible what he still does.
It made me ashamed of myself. He would call me and talk about the smallest details, and I just thought, God, he's, at the time he was in his 60s, and it's like he doesn't need to care about that. He's Mick Jagger, but he does, and that's why he's so successful. And I music direct a lot of bands, and I talk to young people and young musicians. I'm like, man, it's like the smallest details make the biggest difference.
Well, I know there's people waiting for you. We appreciate your time very much. Hope to see you soon.
My man.
Thank you, brother.
Anything for the old hometown gang, you know that.
And we'll always be here for you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a little bit.
With 21 days, 35 silent.